ज्योति स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज में आप सभी का स्वागत है बच्चों। ये क्लास नंबर RPC 85 है। जो बच्चे बिल्कुल शुरू से पढ़ना चाहते हैं, बेसिक फिटमैन पॉकेट बुक ये कंप्लीट बुक अगर पढ़ना चाहते हैं तो उनके लिए कोर्स है ज्योति स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज। ये वेबसाइट का नाम है, मोबाइल ऐप भी है। इस पर ये कोर्स अवेलेबल RPC के नाम से, RPC फिर ब्रैकेट में होगा फिटमैन पॉकेट कंप्लीट बुक। तो वो 2500 रुपये का है, साल भर वैलिडिटी है। इंग्लिश स्टेनो बेसिक टू गवर्नमेंट जॉब, जिसमें सारे कोर्सेज अवेलेबल हैं, उसकी फ़ीस 5000 रुपये है। ये वेबसाइट और मोबाइल ऐप पे दोनों पे अवेलेबल है। जो बच्चे डिक्टेशन लिखना चाहते हैं, जो डिक्टेशन के अंदर है, मतलब स्पीड है और डिक्टेशन लिखना चाहते हैं, तो उनकी फ़ीस 500 रुपये मंथली है, वो वहाँ से ले सकते हैं। ये मोबाइल ऐप और वेबसाइट और मोबाइल ऐप, इसका नाम है ज्योति स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज। इसको ध्यान में रखेंगे। अब मैं डिक्टेशन पढ़ने जा रहा हूँ 165 से लेकर के 170। ये एडवांस फ्रेज से रिलेटेड डिक्टेशन है। ये डिक्टेशन लिखनी नहीं आनी चाहिए, ये रटी हुई होनी चाहिए। ये जितनी भी डिक्टेशन अब ये RPC जो जहाँ से मैंने बताया था, ये सभी की सभी रटी हुई होनी चाहिए। कल जो डिक्टेशन मैं आपको बोलूँगा जो रट के आनी है अच्छे से, वो 171 से लेकर के 177 है। 171 से लेकर के 171 से लेकर के पेज नंबर 215 पे है। 171 से लेकर के 177 पेज नंबर 219 तक ये आउटलाइन सारी रटनी है। अब जैसे कहीं भी जो वोवल्स छोड़ देने, अगर कहीं वोवल लगा हुआ है, नहीं तो ये एज इट इज आउटलाइन बिल्कुल रट देनी है अब, ठीक है। डिक्टेशन स्टार्ट आफ्टर 5 सेकेंड। Money has been defined to be desired, capitalized, and as far as I am concerned, I am content to accept this definition. I have thought of it in all ways, and I have concluded, after consideration of every circumstance connected with the subject, that the definition is satisfactory. I am confident that if you will think of the matter, you will, as a necessary consequence, come to the same conclusion. In a genuine inquiry, the conclusion is not arrived at without some consideration of opposite views. In fact, those views must be considered if we are to come to a satisfactory conclusion. Having regard, therefore, to the interesting nature of the question before us, it will be agreed that it deserves to be fully considered and must be looked at from every standpoint. It demands that everything that can be said about it shall be considered, and that anything which may in any way help us to an opinion shall be taken into consideration. In point of fact, must be taken into consideration. Limited space, however, forbids my enlarging upon the question in the manner I would like, so that I must be content to leave out some consideration of which a great deal might be said, and respecting which there might perhaps be a disagreement. I shall consider this question more fully in another place. Dear Mr. Brown, I have received your communication of the 12th institution, and I am very pleased indeed to inform you that you are almost certain to hear for me in the affirmative next week. Most probably you will be asked to come here the last week in the last month of the year, but you must not be surprised if you are lecture at an earlier date. Your lecture in the autumn of last year was a great success, in fact, unparalleled in the history of our literary organization. This month and next month, we are to have a series of lectures on the industrial life of our cities in the 19th century, and it is just possible that we may have a famous economist as chairman at the opening gathering. We have concluded that these problems ought to be considered without delay, especially as economic questions are very pressing just now. Yours very truly. Let us consider a few points, and I shall be content to leave the further consideration of the question to the reader. A great writer speaking on this subject of money points out that in view of a future exchange, money is as it were our security. For he says it is necessary that he who brings it should be able to get what he wants. If the reader will take into consideration the full meaning of the last sentence, he will see that what he wants is but another way of saying what he desires. Again, another authority declares that coined money is a kind of bill or order payable at the will of the bearer. In like manner, still another writer states that a coin must be considered as a bill upon all the tradesmen in the neighborhood. That is, if I have received a coin for services rendered to somebody else, I can have in return anything I desire which is equal in value to it. A fourth authority says money is a warrant which gives the bearer the right to draw from society when he desires services according to the value of the coin. Similar questions on the nature of money have been answered by various other writers in the same manner, so that I have concluded that the definition referred to is tolerably accurate, and it cannot be said that I have come to an unsatisfactory conclusion, and I hope you are satisfied. Nowadays, most of the transactions of commercial and industrial life are carried out as far as possible by means of various forms of paper money, the most important of which in this country is the check currency with which our banking system provides us. My dear sir, I hope you will think it worth while to consider as far as possible the alteration of the date of the laying of the foundation stone, and I am sure a little consideration will lead you to a decision that will materially enhance the chances of a successful gathering. Is it worth while ignoring the wishes of a small but your supporters in this manner when a slight alteration would be of advantage? In other respects, I think no fault can be found with the arrangements. Very sincerely yours. Dear sirs, we have received your letter of the 9th institution respecting consignments, and your requests shall be considered in the same manner as your previous communications on such matters. Our Mr. Burton is away at present in the north of Scotland. We expect him back tomorrow, however, when the whole question shall be taken into consideration and an early reply forwarded to you. Doubtless, a satisfactory conclusion can be arrived at which will be considered agreeable to all concerned. Yours truly. In concluding my report, I would point out that there are many circumstances which will be taken into consideration on a future occasion, but of which it is considered unwise to speak now. One's necessary conclusion, however, is that only in the manner I have indicated is it possible to arrive at anything like a true estimate of the motives of these men towards one another, and to judge impartially of the letters which passed between them. The incident at the telegraph office is the most important. पहले इसको अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे, पढ़ने के बाद इसको फिर टाइप करेंगे। जिन बच्चों से लिखी नहीं गई है वो दोबारा से प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। इसको मिनिमम 10 बार रिपीटेशन करना है, लिखना है, पढ़ना है, टाइप करना है, लिखना है, पढ़ना है, टाइप करना है। ये रटी हुई होनी चाहिए ये वाली रिपीटेशन। इस क्लास में इतना ही बच्चों। नमस्कार बच्चों।